acha que a bola está fora.
Exatamente. O amigo desvia aqui a bola, pensa que a bola vai para fora.
Are you lot sick? Raphael, brother, close him down. Mate, it's still in. Your mum, mate. Are you even a centre-back? Extremely unnecessary bringing Linda into this. But for real, the ball's not out of fun, Linda. Listen, I'll suplex your dad as well. Then what? I wish the ball was still in. It is. Just so I could save it again.
Começa a falar com os seus colegas, a bola vem para dentro e o Pedro Pacheco à segunda faz golo. Impressionante.
I've actually always liked your parents, bro. Yo guys, it is your boy Niren here, and you are watching FTW. This, of course, the series where it brings you the best and more frequently the worst of what football has to offer during the last 7 days. What's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, lads, GTA 6 is finally coming. Oh, yeah! In 2025.
I feel physically sick, to be honest, and I mean that.
I was 16 when GTA 5 came out. Now I'm gonna have a mortgage and 3 kids. Old gen users are gonna have a tough time trying to boot this up in the spare bedroom. Meanwhile, the trailer was leaked beforehand from an unknown source. I'm gonna be extra depressed when Rockstar see this leak and then cancel the game altogether. It's over for this man when they find the leaker's home address.
Fucking hell, man.
We want GTA in London. Could you imagine? The character swaps would be insane.
Run a Pickering!
Oh?
Run a Pickering!
Who the fuck's that?
AFTV calling you up, trying to get you on a side mission.
Hello, who this?
We mustn't forget that it's been raining.
Though it's not all positive. Imagine seeing your shark card balance after buying a UK train ticket for a mission. Now though, onto the football, and what a week it's been. We start with Man City and Tottenham, who played out another classic, this time 3-3 at the Etihad. Someone needs to conduct a PhD on why Tottenham always get a result here. Pep's Christmas list, a contractual agreement to get a result versus Spurs. A Santa Claus, if you will.
Scored a goal against the Spurs away.
Heung-min Son had an interesting start to this match, putting Tottenham ahead in the 5th minute before scoring an own goal to equalise for City. He was being pretty harsh on himself after getting a goal at either end.
That's my son!
One Tottenham fan, though, forgot he was in the Man City end as the Korean put them ahead.
Let's not take the piss.
Pep Guardiola was once again calling for more noise, and fans at the Etihad not doing the reputation of the club much good here, lads. He'll be dishing out box seats on a postcode lottery, doing a ticket giveaway on Twitch.
We cannot afford it. It's impossible.
Erling Haaland missed huge chances uncharacteristically here, but Man City did score with well-worked goals. Jack Grealish finally got himself on the score sheet to give City the lead late on, but Dejan Kulusevski shot a dagger into the heart of Pep in the 90th minute. It could have been all so different though, after Haaland was brought down, then put Jack Grealish away, only for the referee to bring it back for a foul.
Back off, everyone.
That's one of the charges they've earned back, lads. They're down to 114 now. Simon Hooper versus Anthony Taylor is an all-time bottom-tier matchup.
It's like having a choice of 2 blokes to nick your wife.
They've got more PGMOL apologies than hair follicles, mate. Erling Haaland wasn't taking too kindly to the referee's antics at full time and was still upset the next day after seeing the replay. This tweet, though, got him charged, and his reaction down on the pitch was even better. A true work of art.
I know it's not my...
There was chaos at Liverpool too, as going into the 86th minute, the Reds were losing to Fulham, but 2 goals in 2 minutes secured us a dramatic victory. Not gonna lie, lads, we were close to croquet here. Oh, how alarmingly adjacent. The comparison here in the scoreline in terms of the time is absolutely mental. There's just no need for this, Liverpool. How many cardiac arrests do I have to see my team victorious? If I go out today, let Trent know he's boss lad. Sir, you have a slightly high cholesterol level. I don't know what was going on in this one, by the way, but Liverpool players seem to think that goals outside the area were worth double here. Trent Alexander-Arnold scored a beautiful free kick. Alexis McAllister slapped in a long-range screamer. This guy's got the tech of an Argentinian, but the name of a man from East Fife.
I'm down a little bit.
Wataru Endo's curler then equalised before a Trent half-volley winner. He was happy with his goal. Either that or he was telling someone to stop saving chat. I can't really tell. Trent has been in incredible form recently, and Kylian Mbappe will be trying to convince him to go to PSG. Elsewhere, and Darwin Núñez was struggling with his new trim when Tim Ream arrived. And Shrewsbury was struggling to put the ball into the back of the net anyway. Meanwhile, in between the sticks and Quaveen Keller did struggle a little bit. Gimme Alisson with one hamstring any day, please. Not quite as crazy at St James's Park, just overall terrible. As Newcastle beat Manchester United in the most one-sided 1-0 you'll see this season. The Red Devils had their flight to Newcastle cancelled.
Oh no. Anyway.
And clearly half of them were still on it. As soon as these lot face a team even thinking of finishing in the top 8, they're a catastrophe.
Leave us alone. Leave us
David De Gea posted a cryptic tweet at the same time as their defeat, or maybe he was just cold, and replacing him in between the sticks, Anana man. I don't think this guy could save a Word document. He was flapping, and outfield fans were left frustrated anytime Marcus Rashford got the ball. There was absolutely zero effort from him that evening, I cannot lie. Usama Rashaidi. Rashlibar. The streets are saying Eric 10 days left, by the way. This guy isn't from Breaking Bad. He's just broken and bad. Maybe the reason why players aren't running as much at the moment or trying as hard are because of reports that suggest he's lost over half of the dressing room. I mean, Anthony Martial and Marcus Rashford wouldn't run for the bus at the moment, let alone him.
Very interesting.
But it's not looking good for United public relations, as Jadon Sancho welcomes the rest of the gang into the under-21s. But Harry Maguire's not really about that rebellious lifestyle.
Holy shit. Was Donovan smoking drugs? In the open? On a school day?
Elsewhere at United, and there were quotes from former DM Nemanja Matic on the professionalism and punctuality of his former teammates, suggesting that players were often late, and at the end, the players themselves had to set up a fine system to make sure that people actually turned up to training on time. At Manchester United, neighbourhood watch is crazy. If Jose Mourinho couldn't discipline these lot, then no one can. At least Nemanja knew he had some income coming in when Paul Pogba turned up late for a 27th day straight.
Tell them to bring me my money.
This was a time at which Ronaldo was at the club, by the way. Imagine him turning up to training early, meanwhile Jesse Lingard and Paul Pogba are arriving at Carrington at 1:37 PM. And I mentioned Jadon Sancho there. He was spotted at 21 Savage's after party. 21 Savage has more appearances in the UK than Jadon does, mate. How many minutes has he played this season?
Turn away.
Listen, I tried to defend Jadon, alright, and I do still think he's been treated badly and been made a little bit of a scapegoat. But come on, bro, you've got to at least try and help yourself. Not quite as bad, though, for him as it is for United supporters, who were apparently served raw chicken at Old Trafford. The chef in question? I already know who it is. This is some Eric Ten Hag cooking, mate. The oven isn't even on. Lisandro Martinez might have been a butcher, but he's not the cook, unfortunately. And United fans will be heading straight back to the canteen to give some advice when they feel the salmonella kicking in.
Get that fucking cooker on.
Things did at least improve for United with a 2-1 win versus Chelsea midweek thanks to a Scott McTominay winner. Where would Eric Ten Hag be if not for the Scottish R9?
No, I am, because I'm going to lose my job.
Chelsea tweeted about two idiots entering the field of play. That seems a little bit harsh on Mudryk and Jackson, who isn't scoring on or off the pitch.
I think that sounds like a good deal.
No, it's not a good deal.
It's not a good deal.
I will do for myself, not for you. I know I will, so.
You will win, so you know you'll win. Maybe you need a little motivation.
Yeah, I need a motivation tonight.
Right, well, I'll let you go then, and I'll chat to you on Snapchat.
After a video emerged of him trying to get private pictures off of Chelsea fan Astrid Wett on one of her streams. Listen, it's going to be mixed feelings for him when he misses another big chance, but it's 25% off personalised content. Can't help but feel he's going to be a little bit distracted mid-game when he sees a purple snap come through. He put an Insta story out the other day of him holding a baby and clarified that the baby isn't his. This guy's actually a menace. He's got some serious grovelling to do, though, when his girlfriend finds out what he's been up to.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am...
And there was a shocking result elsewhere last night as Aston Villa beat Man City, defeating the reigning champions 1-0 at Villa Park. And that left Pep Guardiola absolutely fuming and also hydrated. Man City just simply are not the same entity without Rodri. Even without him in the squad, and Calvin Phillips is allergic to game time. And it was Leon Bailey who got himself the winning goal here with a deflected effort. He had some harsh words for Man City's defence upon out-strengthening them.
So you put your foot like this, you rotate it, then you go to the gym, you fat fuck.
The thing is, though, the goal might have been deflected, but the stats here were an absolute joke. Aston Villa absolutely peppered them, with 22 shots on goal compared to Man City's 2, both of which came back in the 11th minute of the game. Unai Emery is cooking.
Good evening.
Meanwhile, for Pep Guardiola, and instead of looking forward, they'll be looking over their shoulder as he realises that Manchester United are just 3 points behind them.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
There was more chaos over at Kenilworth Road as it took a 97th minute Declan Rice winner for Arsenal to beat Luton. The celebrations here were wild as you could expect, and it took Arsenal 5 points clear at the top of the table. It started with a Gabriel Martinelli goal, then a Gabriel Osho equaliser, then Gabriel Jesus putting Arsenal back ahead. Basically, Gabriel cubed. But as Luton pressed for an equaliser again, they swung a corner into the box, and David Raya got absolutely nowhere near the ball. Aaron Ramsdale was caught laughing on the bench before realising the camera was on him. The reality reality is he wouldn't have done any better here. You just know he would have been distracted heading off into someone's back garden when he realises the away end has a Sky Plus box in it. Fucking hell, this stadium's proper small, innit? Aaron, why are you in the crowd? We've conceded. Someone get David back again. Meanwhile, Aaron Ramsdale's dad was delighted seeing this mistake from the Spaniard. I can't lie, I feel like the only reason he's in the team is because he can communicate with Mikel Arteta without Duolingo. But Luton did not give up without a fight here and actually took the lead through Ross Barkley, who's been a completely different beast since joining the club. But Arsenal would equalise straight away, and in the words of Luton, rice wins it. Otherwise known as the answer you give if you prefer an Indian to pasta for a 4th day running.
4 none, Jeremy. 4? That's insane.
I felt bad here for Luton, I'm not gonna lie. They firmly deserved something out of this one. And I felt even worse for the Luton resident fans who live just out the back of the stadium, hearing the goal go in from their garden before Sky Sports managed to show it. It's rice! Meanwhile, we saw the Brighton derby between Brighton and Chelsea, but it was their B team that won here as a 10-man Chelsea battled to a 3-1 victory. They didn't look all that menacing though before kick-off, with these posers from the front three for the starting 11. Raheem Sterling looks like he's still in a Gillette advert. Meanwhile, Nicolas Jackson's fighting the Astrid allegation. Levi Colwill scored in this one. He went to celebrate, forgot that he played for the club last season, and then quietened it down as a mark of respect. Honestly, Levi, tell it how it is next time you see the Seagulls.
Fuck off, you baby-eyed little sticks!
He went all guns blazing, honestly, for the first 6 seconds of this celebration. Back at Liverpool, though, and there was a cracking assist from Trent Alexander-Arnold as we beat Sheffield United 2-0. I feel for the Blades, honestly. Half their squad looks like a Master League team. The Euro 2024 draw took place this week, and things were going absolutely calmly.
There is some noise here, no noise anymore. So the first group completed is the group of Germany. Group A, Germany, Scotland, Hungary, Italy.
A prankster once again set off the notorious audio, leaving David Silva struggling not to laugh, and the place sounding like Wayne Rooney's gaff when he turns the Tinder age up to 80, or Wayne Rooney's gaff after a nightclub visit in Burton, or Wayne Rooney's gaff just pretty much at all times. Albania here qualified for only their second major tournament in their history, but their officials couldn't believe their eyes when they saw the severity of their group. It's their first ever Euros and they're gonna get bullied straight out of it. Meanwhile, with Scotland being drawn against Hungary in their group, there'll be some confusion when they come across each other in the line for food inside the stadium.
Where are you from?
Hungary.
Hungary? I'm hungry.
Sky Sports are going to be potentially trialling the idea of having YouTubers as pundits across Premier League games next season. I can't imagine Roy Keane's going to be too pleased hearing me talk about my ACL. Pieface won't be left with all that much when he picks up his paycheck after Sky realise Plymouth Argyle aren't actually in the Premier League. Rotashaw will be left stunned when he sees the Chelsea team exit the tunnel.
Why is everyone black?
Meanwhile, Gary Neville is here for strong, hard footballing analysis, not for listening to Chunks and Daniel Sturridge attempt to chart with a 90s R&B throwback live on air.
7 o'clock on the dot, I'm in my drop top.
Burnley beat Sheffield United in a Premier League basement battle. Both sides have found it hard, to say the least, adapting to Premier League life upon their promotion, but at least their supporters could see the funny side of it outside the ground. In FA Cup action, and Ian Wright brought potentially the biggest quote known to man. Listen, who says that Arsene Wenger's influence isn't great? Sunderland have been drawn against Newcastle for the 3rd round of the FA Cup. Northumbria police already know what they're in for seeing this draw take place. Meanwhile, one Sunderland fan might have jumped the gun just a little bit in getting the atmosphere ready for the clash. And elsewhere at Everton, ahead of their trip up to Nottingham Forest, their bosses had a pretty clear message for the Premier League, following on from their 10-point deduction. Now, we're heading over to Saudi Arabia next, because there was a big clash at the top of the Pro League table, as Al Hilal slapped Cristiano Ronaldo and Sadio Mane's Al Nassr. 3-0 was the deficit here, and it gives Al Hilal a great opportunity to win the league.
Ronaldo is crying in his car!
In fairness to Ronaldo, he was pretty much robbed in this one. Pretty sure this was onside, not gonna lie, but was ruled out after Sadio Mane's cross. He was getting grief from an Al Hilal defender.
Who the fuck is that guy?
And he's headed to the studio ready to get his revenge on said defender.
£1 million
town, fight it's cool. Tell my
CR7 era from Twitter will be running onto the pitch to help and try and get a goal back, though Al Hilal goalkeeper Bunu doesn't care for all of that nonsense, as he was too busy going on an adventure. Now over in Spain, and Barcelona beat Atletico Madrid in a narrow 1-0 victory, and who else but Joao Felix to score the winning goal against his former side. But if you thought he was going to be calm and collected about it, you thought wrong. After being treated pretty badly over the last couple of years by Atletico, he decided to celebrate big in front of their fans. It's a shithousery award for the Portuguese forward, and he's borrowed it from Jude Bellingham, a man playing at a different club in Madrid. Yeah, say less. Robert Lewandowski saved a kid from security who was trying to drag him back into the crowd because he's a nice lad, but also because they have the same mental age. Meanwhile, Marcos Alonso was a little bit distracted during this one, preparing for the new GTA to come out. Jude Bellingham's celebration is continuing to sweep the nation and sweep the globe, as fans all the way in North Africa saw a shop front that said Jude and a surname starting in B and said close enough. Even the taps in Spain are starting to copy the Englishman. One man though who is looking to become a Galactico next season is Endrick. He's obviously already agreed to join Real Madrid from Palmeiras. Whilst the substitution was going on in his native Brazil, he decided to pass the time by flossing. Another wonder kid with ADHD.
He will go right to the very top. Right to the very top.
Meanwhile, Girona pulled off yet another late comeback to stay in touching distance unbelievably in the La Liga title race. They're not just the best team in Catalonia, lads. They're the best team in Spain. I'm half expecting them to sign Jaime Vardia for the second half of the season. La WKDA and Cocaína. Meanwhile, at Sevilla, and it's been an up and down season, fans aren't too pleased, and former Tottenham winger Eric Lamela faced the brunt of it this week. But he snapped, calling out the fans' mum as a response. You don't want to get into a slanging match this personal when Sergio Ramos is in the team, and he's suspended, so he's not got anything better to do than chase you and your mum down on a bike after the game. Meanwhile, down at the foot of the La Liga table, Almeria are currently winless in the league on just 4 points and are now out of the Copa del Rey at the hands of 4th division opposition. Truly a stinker of a start to the season for them. Over in Germany, and Bayer Leverkusen drew this week to Borussia Dortmund. They're still unbeaten in all competitions, but did drop points here. It could have been a loss though had it not been for Victor Boniface grabbing a late equaliser. He took his mum to the match, who watched on from the crowds in a wholesome moment. And she even got to meet the rest of the team and her favourite Bayer Leverkusen player, Granit Xhaka. Though the former Arsenal man will take it personally when she asked for a picture with Grimaldo too. Meanwhile, Bayern Munich, and Harry Kane was put to the test of football club badges from across the world.
Maybe Augsburg? Pass.
Brother, Istanbul literally says Başakşehir on the badge. I knew this guy couldn't read. But down in the 2nd division of German football, and prepare yourselves, at Hamburg, Daniel Auer Fernandez, look away now, because this may be one of the worst own goals of all time. You know how mad it is when an own goal has an assist? That back pass is horrendous. But the slice into his own net there is negative composure on show. In Italy, and Inter Milan wiped the floor with Napoli with a 3-0 victory against last season's champions. Victor Osimhen at this point is putting the mask back on so he can't be recognised when he's playing. Brother, we still know it's you. Why? Ivica Kvaratskhelia talked about the fact that he would love to join Real Madrid at some point in his career, or how that would be his dream. Yeah, he's ready to leave already. He's cutting. And I don't blame him, because Napoli are useless when they have any opportunity whatsoever to get back into the top 4. Napoli might have been bad, but Inter were on top form there as they continue to lead the Serie A table. And next game, they'll be playing with the Transformers logo on their kit after a collaboration with the movie franchise. So that's gonna have its downsides when the team bus turns into a Decepticon on the way to the next match. Oh, please, man. I just want to go to the game, guys. Oh, is that too much to ask, really? Meanwhile, in France, and Gianluigi Donnarumma saw red after coming out early off his line and karate kicking a La Havre attacker. I mean, what are you doing? What are you thinking at this point in the game? This brother's been 18 for 6 years straight and then fallen off. PSG fans will be throwing money at him to bribe him not to play for the club again. Now there is time for your goals of the week. We've got some beautiful strikes again this time. First of all, down in the Championship and at Ipswich Town, who have been setting the league alight really in comparison to expectations with some beautiful football. And that was once again on show here, and finished off with a beautiful, beautiful strike with the outside of the boot, a Trivela from Wes Burns. A very different goal though, coming from the Albanian lower leagues, as a ball is swung into the box and someone's clearly been watching Alejandro Garnacho. And the final final goal of the week, well, it's actually a goal of the week because of the assist. An assist of the week, if you like. Take about Alvis Jaunzems, definitely butchered his name, but he's a Latvian attacker who plays over in Poland. And this flick is, I've never even seen anything like it. In the air, back heel flick. It almost sticks to his foot like Velcro before being delivered perfectly to his teammate to slot into the back of the net. A piece of magic there, and one man who's synonymous with pieces of magic is Luis Suarez. And he's on the move again, leaving Grêmio in Brazil to join former Barca teammate Lionel Messi, along with Jordi Alba and Sergio Busquets at Inter Miami. Neymar will unfortunately be depressed watching them play from his A&E department room. Getting the band back together from the tiki-taka Barcelona days.
I need that. We need that.
It is a move that definitely makes sense, and I'm sure the reunion will work well for the MLS side. Though Ghanaians aren't as happy, they'll be trying to find him on a GTA 6 Miami main road, as long as Lionel Messi isn't in the game. Otherwise, he's getting caught pulling off Ballon d'Or fraud. Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back, by popular demand, for yet more glorious beauty. And that concludes The Beautiful Game. Now, heading back a week in time here, because it's a clip that I didn't see, but Legia have also played against Aston Villa in the Conference League before an all-out war between supporters started. Legia fans were launching bottles, and one of them got instant karma at the hands of his own mayonnaise. Over in Russia, and the weather has been pretty mental recently, and that led to Igor Akinfeyev trying to take a goal kick on a mount of snow. Igor Akinfeyev, this guy's still about. I'm hearing that name for the first time since 2014. Frankie de Jong and his partner welcomed the birth of their baby this week. Very wholesome stuff, we do love to see it. Ajax commented though about him being a future star. The response, yeah, they're pre-ordering. That's not allowed. You can't induct someone into your academy aged 3 hours. Over in Korea, and Ulsan Hyundai cemented their place as victors of the K-League 1 with a 1-0 victory over their sworn enemy Jeonbuk Hyundai. And as they took the lead, knowing that they'd be lifting the trophy at the end of the game against their bitter rivals, they celebrated with a trophy lift of the ball itself. Yeah, it's a shithousery award. That is premeditated shithousery. In Argentina, I think questions need to be asked, to be honest with you. I didn't know Sergio Ramos was a Boca Juniors fan. The Under-17s World Cup culminated this week with Germany, the victors, but I want to say a special shout out to Mali, who managed to get all the way to the semi-finals in what I can only imagine is a bit of an underdog story. Rangers drew with Aris Limassol on European duty this week, a result that must be disappointing, especially when another Scottish team by the name of Palmerstown responds saying that they'd beaten Aris Limassol even though they were a Sunday League team. Yeah, it's a shithousery award for them as well. We head over to Indonesia, where it's quite literally impossible for this to be an offside, as a corner directly in swings and hits the post is converted by a teammate, and somehow VAR intervenes. In music news, and Dua Lipa recently became single, which is information that doesn't affect my life whatsoever. Hey yo, Dua. And clearly, Dumbarton's admin is having a similar idea, because he tweeted simply with a picture of their players celebrating. But ladies and gentlemen, back on Neymar watch. As much as this might not seem like it's the case, I don't actually enjoy cooking people's hairlines.
No, very, very false.
But Neymar's, there's been a crime here. It's been cooked, bro. He's caused his own stress with women. That's why. Don't be surprised if this brother signs for Besiktas in January. Now there is time for the moment you've all been waiting for, because over in Romania, and last week I brought you some adverse weather that had been going on in our favourite nation, and it was snow all over the place. Well, naturally, when things warm up, that snow melts. And this week we got a second division game that is practically underwater. I can't wait to see what crazy weather these lot get next. And next time on Romania this week, a tornado sweeps up random Romanian farm. Closer to home though, and a Bristol City fan pranked Southampton supporters by pretending to be one of the opponent's players. Meanwhile, Reading conducted a protest against their fraudulent owners in an FA Cup tie against non-league Eastleigh. They did so by throwing tennis balls onto the pitch, apologised to Eastleigh beforehand knowing that this was going to be taking place. But one tennis ball was launched back into the crowd, and honestly that's probably the best and sweetest anyone struck a ball at Reading all season. Over in Colombia, and one Nacional defender was pretty excited with his goalkeeper making a last-ditch save. What's worse than getting nutmegged once? Well, probably getting nutmegged twice. But what's worse than getting nutmegged twice? Well, probably getting nutmegged 3 times. Right now, mate, look, listen. I'm going to be honest with you. We're 3 minutes in, right? You're on a yellow card. I'd love it if you could just ease off the tackles now till the end of the game. Yeah, and what? It was your fault for being there, you pagan. In Croatia, though, when we've got phantom violence, as somehow this Don has fraudulently gone down, pretending to have been headbutted. The rest of his team believe it, and the referee does as well. There's simulation, and then there's Euro Truck Simulator 2027. In Uganda now, and as a goalkeeper, if I'm gonna give you one piece of advice, it's just get the ball clear. Don't faff about with it. About a month ago, I told you about the team in Norway that won 10-1 on the final day, but still missed out on automatic promotion on goal difference due to the one consolation goal they conceded that day. Well, thankfully for them, Lyn FC were still promoted as they went up through the playoffs. Katsina United are facing sanctions after they drew their numbers on a piece of paper and then stuck it to the back of their shirt. And recently, I brought you the story of FC Shakura, who'd lost 2 games back-to-back 9-0 in Georgia. Well, things have got even weirder. They've lost 9-0 again. But honestly, this is definitely getting rigged. Apparently, they're making first half substitutions at weird times as well, and their goalkeeper will be taking drastic action when it's 8-0, and he realizes he's one more goal away from 873 Georgian lari. Now that it's time for still 0-0 and you guys know the score by now, this is the segment of the show where I bring you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And if there's one word that defines Sunday League, it's tackling. So why not combine that with the actual point of football by scoring directly from one? On to the weird stuff though now. Over in Costa Rica, and their women's side faced off against St. Kitts and Nevis of the Caribbean, and the scoreline, well, it was a little bit one-sided. In Italy, and angry fans will have been left angry after they had a game in Sicily cancelled. They were scheduled to face off against a side called Trapani in the 4th tier Italian Cup. Basically a league cup for like all the 150 or so teams that play at the 4th division level of the Italian pyramid. Well, they had to travel from their small town all the way to Sicily, but found out an hour before they were meant to travel that their ferry had been cancelled due to adverse weather. Trapani were awarded the victory via a forfeit. The worst part is though that their fans had already travelled to the game. But finally, there are mental scenes going on over in Brazil and at Vitória, Esporte Club Vitória to be precise, who have just claimed back-to-back promotions. But that's not the reason they're in the news. The reason they're in the news is because they've been offered a new sponsorship deal to change their name to Fatal Model, which is an escort app in Brazil. Yeah, you're not hearing that incorrectly. These lot were sponsored by the app on their sleeve for the last 2 seasons, but have now been offered 2 million Brazilian reales, which is like $200,000, to change the official club name for the next 10 years. It's like Man U changing their name to OnlyFans United. A crazy situation. I'm sure no footballer worth their salt would ever go there. Wait, why is Jack Grealish in Brazil? That, though, is going to wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video, and of course, subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @theofficialfng on Twitter and on Insta. But it's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.